I'm here today with Troy Welsh. He's one of Australia's most decorated cowboys, saddle maker, actor, horse trainer. He's done it all. So we're here to talk to him today. So we're going to start off by talking about your saddles here. Troy Welsh Saddles, and he's here in Bow Desert. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing with your saddles, Troy.
Thanks, Taylor. Welcome to the saddle shop. Well, my real bread and butter is I'm a custom saddle maker. So I custom make saddles, and mainly now for the cut and horse industry and also the camp draft industry. I do the odd rope saddle now, and actually there's a couple ready to go here, and there's rain in there of all things, but mainly the cutting saddles. There's been a big business for me. It's such a big sport, and there's a lot of work, out there just for me. I've specialised in them sort of areas, and I thought, and that's what I enjoy. I love me cutting in them areas, so I figured it's good to be a part of it. I get to go to the big futurities and the events and so forth, yeah.
Okay, so we were just talking earlier about how important it is to actually fit a saddle to a horse. Let's dive straight into that because that's something that I'm pretty passionate about. I think it's very important that more education needs to be done with that area. So who better person to educate us than you, Troy?
Oh, and I could talk 3 days straight without even drawing a breath on this subject. And I feel sorry for people, My background in saddle making was in the 90s. In 1994, I started working for Eddie Powell, who was one of the renowned saddle makers in this country. He manages Martins in the States now. And so we made trees, and probably, I guess, old school trees now. We used to make them out of wood, rawhide them. But that was emphasis on fit, with fitting the horses. But we weren't really making them to fit one horse. It was like a cutting guy's going to be riding the quarter horses, and a lot of the breeds we know. So we're sort of fitting that breed of horse. Like, it's senseless to build one saddle. I'd love to. Like I was telling you before, I'd love to build 5 saddles for you, 5 different horses, but I'm ripping you off. People they're so hung up on saddle fit now, and it's all the wrong information. And I think where it started is these companies, the cheaper companies, the import companies, were trying to sell their product. So I always say, when that van rocks up to your place of saddle fit, I guarantee they're going to sell you a saddle out of that van, whether it fits or not. It's probably the closest one. Some of the cheaper saddles we look at now, they're selling for $500 to $600. Our trees alone are nearly worth $1,000.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to throw money away. There's a reason why I pay $1,000 for these trees. They fit, they work. I always say my name is physically on that saddle, so I want you to be happy. When I broke my hip in 2002, I went to Canberra and studied physiology, horse massage and physiology. And because I was a butcher in the meatworks years ago, I knew all the cuts, muscles of an animal. So I went and studied that purely because I was healing, couldn't do anything else. And I had an interest in it. I didn't want to go massage or do the therapy, but being a saddle maker, I wanted to know what was going on under there, the bone structures. And I've just purchased, they're a popular machine in Australia in the racing industry, and a lot of performance horses now is an equissage machine.
That, of course, is electrotherapy.
Yeah, and this is a human version. Like it's a horse version, but is embedded for humans, obviously. And I've said it for years, and I've seen it happen. People will have a horse, and they say, the saddle's not fitting, because for a horse, he's come up sore, like you said, they've given him, it's been raining for 3 weeks, so they haven't rode him for 3 weeks. And get him a flogging on the weekend, rode him all day, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday he's sore, they go to stick the saddle on again, and he's sore, saddle mustn't fit. And it's really like common sense, talking like you out and play tennis or whatever you do, you haven't done it for a while, you're going to be sore, especially as you get older. So now it's like I say, you can talk forever about it.
Well, let's talk about your trees. What are they made of? Where do they come from?
Few different styles. So my cutters, I've got a mould made. It's polyurethane mould. So they're a great tree. They're strong. I've got a guy that mixes it for me. They're like unique chemists to get it all right. They mix it for it, then they come to me as blanks. Then I do all the work on it.
Okay. So let's talk about obviously all the leather that goes into these saddles that you make here. What's the better leather these days? I mean, saddle making just keeps evolving, right?
Yeah. I'm a big fan of home and oak leather.
Home and oak, yeah. You're still using that? Yeah.
That's all I use. Like, you know, in the mid-90s when I was working for Eddie Powell, they just started importing into Australia. Even Shep Herman, who just recently passed away, Shep Herman, he come out. And Eddie was kind of like their poster boy for the Herman Oak. So I'd come in and done my apprenticeship. It's pretty well all I used. I've never really ever used anything else.
Since 1997, huh?
Yeah, since then. Since I started on my own, but through the 90s I worked with that. So I'm probably not the best person to ask what other leather's like, because I really can't tell you.
Yeah.
But I just thought, this is the best. You know, the best guys have used it.
Right.
You know, I've never been fake. Worse than me. And you still see the good guys in America, they will use Herman Oak. And what I like about it here is, and I like, especially for the cutters, I like a bigger, heavier, you know, 5.5 mil.
Yeah.
Skirting, it's tough. Because them cutters, they're in, and they're in sand arenas, so sand acts like sandpaper, so that it's always flicking up. They're constantly rubbing them away, and they just give them a flogging, and some of them will see that they'll sit out on the rail in the rain and the sun, and I've asked a couple of them, like, have you ever hauled the saddle up and had it for 2 or 3 years? And they'll ask, oh no, what sort of oil do you use? And they go, oh, kill me now. Fat angle.
So let's talk about that, why you actually brought that up. What oil do you use? What's the best way to care for leather for your saddle that also protects and keeps all your stitching restored?
Yeah, and it's pretty basic. I like pure linseed oil. You'll hear a lot of the old timers, they'll say, especially in the old stock saddles, they say, oh, don't put linseed oil on it, lots of stitching. Well, what they used to do, they'd put a bit of metho or terps in it to stop the animals, the bugs, and that from eating it, and that's what would be rotten. And then they, you know, you'd use a hemp linen. We don't use hemp linen anymore. It's all nylon threads and, you know, UV resistant, so it doesn't affect it. So, and Shep Herman himself, I asked this question when I was a young apprentice. I said, Shep, what's the best stuff that, you know, all of these saddles and you grease your saddles with? And he said, always put an animal product back in an animal product. So linseed oil is made out of animal hooves and stuff. So if it's good enough for Chef, he makes his stuff. So that's all I've used is pure linseed. I put that in. And then as a dressing, there's a couple of dressings I really like. One is Oakwood leather dressing. It's an Australian one. And then I use Ray Hull's saddle butter from the States. I love
that
it.
stuff.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. And, you know, when you put it on, you can get a water bottle or squirt it, you'll see it beads up. So it protects, you know, your sweat and from getting in. But you don't have to over oil a saddle. Here in Queensland, we're putting the end of the hot. So if you're outside using them all the time, you want to be a bit more, but oh, heck, you know, even my personal ones, I'll start thinking, when have I last oiled it? It's probably going to ruin it. You know, it's just good stuff, this dry skirting leather, you know, it just handles it and pops it.
What's better, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go back to the technical side of this. What are the other things that you use when you're making your saddle? Break it down for us.
Yep.
Linings.
Yep. So obviously in the cutters, we use probably two sides of the Herman Oak skirting. Sometimes you'll sneak into a third, maybe back burst and stuff. Obviously, your fittings are all stainless steel now, which is great.
Yeah.
Back in the day, we were using nickel plated, and that's where you sell that black and the nickel would come off. So stainless steel. This one's got ponchos. These ponchos are actually stainless. They're not silver. I do love silver, but it's up to the client if they want to pay for it.
Yep.
Obviously, my sheepskins, you see a lot of artificial sheepskins. I use the real ones from Herman Oak. They're veg tan, so they're like another layer of leather. Same deal again, these cutters and these trainers, they're going to get them flogging. Yeah. I just don't want them wearing it out. The synthetic stuff, and I know a lot of people use the synthetic stuff, but it's a bit like carpet after you see it wears down and it's just can't do the job as the rest.
And it really seals that heat in there.
It does. Yeah. And I always say to people, I wear them Explorer socks. And I say, you get the good wool ones, I'll wear them summer, winter.
Yep.
If I get one with a bit of synthetic in it, rubs in your feet, uncomfortable, you know. So, yeah, that's, you know, because, like I say, my name goes on the back of this saddle. I don't want to skint out on something a bit cheap, you know. You want to put the good gear into them and make the best product you can because, you know, I love you feeling the same when I bought something. Like, people pay good money for it.
Yep.
So I don't want to skip out and just go, this is a bit cheaper. You know, I want as much as I can, best I can get.
And you're so passionate about what you do too.
Yeah, and it's a pride thing, you know. We're more of a boutique. We're not like a big line of saddleries that sell lines of saddles. Like, it's basically me on the tools.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm from way to go. In the crap jobs that would be an apprentice's job in a shop, well, I do that job,
Right. Little birdie told me that you could be, though, because there's a lot of people in America that just want your saddles, right?
Yeah, we're starting to send a few over there. And the way the dollar's working too, so we're sort of like the poor cousin. Ironically, they've given us a hammering for years. So now there's been a few. One just actually, and today actually, one goes to Italy.
Mm-hmm.
So it works out good with the exchange. And I really haven't pushed over that area because it's, we're busy enough here.
Right.
But, if they track us down, you can send a few over. I've sent saddles to Thailand.
Really?
It was a trick saddle, ironically, yeah. So I went there a couple of years ago, but the World Wide Web, they track it down.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about your career in rodeo.
Yeah.
You competed over in America.
Yeah. I grew up rodeo. I grew up over the border at Clogue, New South Wales, and years ago in the 80s, I was probably the ABCRA really done a good job back then on, they put the first junior programs in.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot of steer ride and bullock ride rodeos, and there was a lot of rodeos over there. But they brought that program in where they had little titles and fostered us along. So we were like the first batch, us guys in about 84 or 85. And so I was a part of that. So I rode steers and on junior bulls and then bulls up until I was about 17 or 18. I kept the bull riding. So I always wanted to be a bronc rider.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I was a kid that grew up around breaking in horses and always had horses. So yeah, it was just the natural progression to go bronc riding. So I did, and it was a good time rodeoing. I love my rodeo career. There's a lot of things, as you always say, in hindsight, I would do different. And a lot of mistakes I did make,
mm-hmm.
but I enjoyed it.
So let's talk about your career in acting.
Yep. Not really an actor.
We're more of a horse wrangler,
right?
That's what we call them in America.
Yeah. I was a wrangler and a stunt rider.
Right,
yeah. So I used to. It's actually funny living in this area in Bow Desert. So there's a lot of film work over the Gold Coast years ago. So I guess right place, right time.
Mm-hmm.
They'd ring us to do just commercials and stuff, and I got to know a pretty good crew. And I've done a lot of commercials, all little shows that. Even before Netflix and that was here, America had the cable TV. They used to make a lot of them here, depending on how the dollar was.
Mm-hmm.
So I've worked on all sorts of shows. The latest one we just done it's out on Stan, I think it is, Nautilus. So I've done that, and when I did get hurt in 2002 was when we toured Australia with the Memphis Snow Arena Spectacular. It toured all the major centres in Australia. It was a great show. It was sort of like a spin-off of the Memphis Snow River movie, obviously. And then we had, at the time, Georgie Parker, who's on Home and Away. Mm-hmm. Everyone knows Georgie. Bud Tinwell, who was an Australian legend. He was in it. Steve Bisley, mm-hmm. Lee Koenigan, and all these guys. It was a great crew. We had some fun doing that. Unfortunately for me, I broke my hip, so I ended up, horse flipped on me in one of the scenes in the stunts and broke my hip real bad. But, so we done that, and that was a great deal. And that sort of morphed in when I got better. Then I went as a trainer and one of the actors in it for a while, the Outback Spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the part, they got the idea from what we done.
Yeah.
They took a lot of that element in there.
Together, yeah.
So I went and done that. I was really only going to be there for 6 months. I was busy building saddles and doing my own thing anyway. Ended up being there a year, and we were trained overall and everything. But the little horse, I don't know if people ever saw that show, the original show, the Outback Spectacular, in about 2006. I trained the little horse that used to jump up in the back of the ute.
Mm-hmm. So from here, I mean, what do you see yourself doing? I mean, obviously you're president out here at the Bow Desert Cutting.
Yeah.
Cutting is a sport's really going to start to take off here in Australia.
Yeah. Well, I think it's big, with this little club here, and I had visions of what I wanted for it, and it's in my backyard. And because I've got young kids coming through, what I love about cutting is it's a safe sport. It's not your tear bust, it's not like a cow horse going down the fence. It can be dangerous. It's just a good sport that anyone can enjoy. If you can get on the back of a horse, you can go cut. You can go here once a month and go there and, compete. We give out little buckles and stuff. And, It is a good
it's a sport for the whole family.
Exactly.
Like, Dad can do it, Mum can do it, kids can do it. Yeah.
It's not dangerous. Like, I'd be horrified if I saw the kids show jumping or cross country, like some of them, or even camp draft, if you get pretty hard and fast, they can take some big spills.
Yeah.
Like, it's in a safe little environment, Paddy, and they're pretty well trained horses. That's the beauty of it. They're great. They're not, if you get on a cutter, they're always looking to stop. They've been trained to stop. They're not going to push them to go.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing. So, it's been great. Like, I've seen the growth, the last sort of 5 years. And a bit of a feed on from America too. It's just got more recognition because of the Yellowstone too.
Mm-hmm.
We were in America last year, and that's all they talked about. Yeah. Especially we had some saddle business to do. So the saddle people were saying, because of Yellowstone, the cowboy things everywhere.
Taylor Sheridan is obviously
a genius.
Yeah. But,
I just want him to have his own channel. I just want to watch his shows. I don't like watching anything else.
He's just so heavily involved in those cowboy sports. So he's brought
like us.
So
that's
much.
Right.
We should all be paying him marketing fee, right?
Yeah, it's just crazy. And it's just great to see. I mean, honestly, when we were young fellas rodeo, like if you bought a cowboy hat into a bar, you'd have to fight anyone there. Now they're all popular and want to be like cowboys. So it's been great, the whole industry. I just love the real aspect of it, the manners of people, and the camaraderie of it all, and your mateship. Like, that's one thing I love about the boat the most. Now,
it's more authentic, right? In the people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So we're here down in the arena, and we've got both of Troy's kids here now, Chloe and Jake, and they're on their little ponies here riding around, the little cutters. So I have a question for you, Troy. Tell us, what of all the things that you've done, I mean, you've trained horses, you had a lot to do with rodeo, why cutting?
Taylor, it's a good question. When I was a kid, I'd always rode horses and broke in and stuff. And then when I quit rodeo, I camp drafted a little over the years, and I'd done a little bit of that, but I just loved the cutting.
Mm-hmm.
I was building cutting saddles. I just loved it. It was more cowboy to me. The training of the cutters, and I enjoyed it. I'd been to the futurities and that, and I just loved it, really. And I thought, one thing that resonates with me, and it's funny when you've got kids, and I've heard other cowboys say the same thing, you don't want them to go ride bulls. It's a tough game. Your cutters are probably the safest sport, and you're riding good horses, and I figure, well, like I told these guys, I said, I've done my rodeo and I ain't going again. We're cutters now, so you can come with me, or when you're 18 you can go do what you want, but no.
Okay, so we've got Jakey on the flag here, as you guys can see.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
Now we've got little Chloe here. She's working the flag for us.
Chloe's little.
So what are you looking for here, and what are you trying to train here with Chloe and her little horse Tiny?
Everything, to tell you the truth, Taylor. It's he's just trying to get a stop, just getting him so she'll get a bit of. I'll make her get a bit of draw on him. Like, I'll teach him to draw a little bit, then go. It's probably, he's only a young horse. Keep kicking him over there, darling. But he's kick him over there. This is just a great tool for the kids. It's safe, it's and they get to just get a bit of confidence.
Well, we just watched you on Fatso over there. Oh, lazy boy. And he's a little bit different when you're on him, huh?
Yeah, we liven him up, and it's probably a bit rough and messy looking, but we've just brought him in, and you can't punish punish them for it.
No.
You know, we're all in pretty good nick after Christmas. I think we all wintered or Christmased well. But yeah, you know, well, from here on in now we'll get rolling, and the kids will get rolling, and between their schoolwork and stuff in the afternoons, we'll you know, get them fitter and keep going.
Yeah, so now let's talk a little bit more about the club there, Troy. You know, when do you guys have your meeting days? When do you have your comp days?
Yeah, so the Boaters at Cutting and Western Performance Club, it's been running since I think it started in 1971. So it's one of the oldest continually running cutting clubs in Australia as part from the NCHA. I feel the pressure of you know, being the president and steering it in the right direction. I think, and we're, you know, I'm pretty proud of what we've done. We run 8 cuttings a year, the third weekend of every month starting March through till October, and then we have our pink day cutting. So and each year, you know, we've raised quite a bit of money, between $4,000 and $5,000 a year for the Breast Cancer Foundation, and we have a big pink cutting. It's a great, everyone enjoys it. It's a club that we kind of look at ourselves as a beginner club. We have our own little points deal and give away our championships, but it's somewhere where someone can start without spending $1 million, dipping their toe in the water. You know, we get some of the good trainers come along too at times, you know, from the local area, and want to pre-work one. We have a practice day the Saturday and the cutting on the Sunday, and then every second weekend of the month we have what we call like the ranch. We've just started the ranch the last couple of years because it was popular. So there's a lot of people go there. And some of the people that go there, like one lady when it first started up, she said to me, I haven't rode in a couple of years. She said, I've had a crook back and leg, you know. And I said, honestly, it doesn't really matter. I said, just here, have a few champers with the ladies later on. I said, this is what this is all about. I said, you know, the horse parts is one element, you know, this is a lifestyle thing. So, and she calmed down then, like she's, oh, I don't have to just, I said, you know, my joke is, we stopped giving away the sheep stations a couple of years ago. So it took all the pressure off. So you can, you know, go there and enjoy and get to learn to show in a show environment, and learn with other people, you know. So then when you go on to the NCHA events, you know, you got that practice. You know, I'm a repetition man. You know, my saddle build and everything I've ever done, I believe in repetition makes you good. Sure, yeah. So, but no, it's a great little club, and for that reason, you know, lets people dip the toe in the water. Right up to there's some pretty good hands that go there too. So, and we're like like the footy, we're a feeder club into the NCHA, and I know that the NCHA appreciates what we do, and I'm a big backer of the NCHA, obviously with my sponsorship and my trophy saddles I build for the futurity each year, and you know, it makes you proud when you see some of these guys move on, get a futurity horse with a pro trainer and go that through the futurity route, and then come back to the club and then show that horse. So you know, it's pretty cool to see. And so tell us where it is again. It's out here in Bow Desert, right? Yep, well we're in Josephville, which is 8k south of Bow Desert. So the whole story is how we got the arena, and the covered arena is, there was a beautiful lady years ago, she was a president called Sue West. So she had a tragic freak accident in town. She was a real estate agent. The car went through the traffic lights and killed her at a desk. Anyway, I guess she was a spinster, Sue. And I knew Sue pretty good. She was a character, had the English accent and stuff, but she was riding a cutting, so a lot of the older guys know who Sue is. She gifted her estate to the cutting club so that the cutters could have a covered arena. So I left quite a substantial estate. So the local council out here at Josephville, right by where I live, which is convenient, give us the old council grounds, which was like a dumping ground. So they built that, built the indoor, like the covered arena, and then we've added on little things. You know, we try and maintain it. We've just put a new fence on. I always joke we're a bit like the St Vincent de Paul. We're always rattling the tin. So we're like the soccer mums at Bunnings, because that's what it's like sometimes. Politicians around here are really hawky of me now. They see me coming. I'm sure they dodge if I can't get caught, because I will hammer on them. But I speak to
they got more sideways steps than these cutting horses, huh?
But they've been really good, because and like the local mayor come out to our pink day last year, Tom Sharp, and they're real supportive actually of what we're doing.
Good.
Because they realise that people come from over the border regularly, Toowoomba, Warwick, all them areas, and they see the revenue that's coming in. And when they sort of found out, we've probably got over 300 members, I think, oh wow, that's a lot of people. Compared to the local footy club or the local soccer club or the tennis club, this is something that they come here and they use the facilities. They've got to fuel up to get out of here and whatever they buy. So, we're not just, they're starting to take notice, which is good because, like I said before, Beaudesert is one of the horse capitals, especially in Queensland. There's some, like Damien and Tori are just up the road. The great camp drafters like Kimberly Salmon, she's just down the road the other way, and Peter Shakespeare, he's behind me. Like all the legends in the industry are right within the stone's throw of where I am right here. So,
And we've got Troy Welsh in Josephville.
Well, I'm the centre of it all, and I guess they need a saddler. So it was probably dumb luck that I ended up here with my wife. She's from here, so it just worked out good. And after years of travelling, like a big trip to me now is when I hook that toy hauler up and I got to drive to Tamworth for 7 hours and for the futurity. I do love it. It's exciting to go. I just got back actually from the nutrient sale. Now I'm sort of pumped up and psyched up for the futurity which comes around. And I was only talking to one of the trainers today, like Linda McCallum, on the phone, and I said, you're like us saddle makers, like for the futurity, because you're getting horses that's getting closer, and I'm the same. I'm preparing saddles and trophy saddles, so I start to feel the nerves and I start looking at the calendar and how much time have I got, and so we feel the same. I feel the pain,
Right?
which is good.
So we're talking about going down there in New South Wales. I'll actually be going down for that too. So it's going to be a really good event. We absolutely always recommend coming and watching a cutting event. It's a very good spectator sport, right?
And the futurity each year, which starts about the end of June, you'd have to Google the dates, the NCHA Cutting Horse Futurity, starts end of June. It's in the cooler months, so it's cool, you're rugged up for 2 weeks there, big trade show, like all us guys, saddle business, fashion, but a lot of women's fashion and stuff there, and you see the best cutting in the country. You see the 3-year-olds, they start out, then you see the older aged horses, see the best horses in the country, of all the cool breeds from the States, and the new breeds, and a lot of them good trainers from America are coming back, like like Johnny Mitchell's an Aussie, but he's been there for years, and he comes back, and we've got the likes of Roger Wagner and all them good guys, so you get to see them show, and it's something to put on your bucket list, and I know people that haven't been there, and when they go, they're pretty amazed, and I've been to them futurities in America too, and I'm saying, we're not the poor cousins. It's a pretty good, decent deal.
We can throw down with the Americans, that's for sure. All right, well, we better get these horses inside. I mean, we're trying to cool them down here, but if they keep doing any more laps, they might get warmed up again. Troy, what do you reckon?
I think they need some laps, these fellas, at the moment. They've Christmased well. They're shiny and slick. I just got to get a defibrillator for this big boy, just in case he goes down. I'll put the defib on him. He's doing a bit of huffing and puffing and sweating, big Timmy, but it's pretty cool, but no.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us, and we thank your kids here too, and just thank you to you and your whole family for everything that you do in this industry. Thank you, Troy.